Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. For exclusive content, please join us at patreon.com/tamerbowling. I'm excited to announce our new partnership with Pureit Bowling. Visit our partner pureitbowling.com and use the special code TAMER when making a purchase to be entered into a monthly drawing. Today we are testing the new Ebonite Impact. Testing on a fresh 40-foot medium house shot and a 40-foot PBA Don Johnson pattern. First impressions, the Ebonite Impact just seems to work. It looks like it's going to be a pretty usable ball. It's unassuming, but a pretty good piece. For value, we gave it a B+. It's a usable, shiny hybrid ASIM, and it's expected to be pretty versatile. Overall, we gave it a B+ on house, B+ on sport. The flagship Ebonite mark is generally not the flashiest in the EVI family. I just have to say that the Impact really feels like one that will be very usable for many bowlers. It seems to place itself straight in the middle so bowlers can go up and down. So let me explain that a little. The Impact uses the same cover as on the Choice. However, the last step is polished rather than 2000 Abralon. So as opposed to the Choice, which shows off how strong the cover is, this one allows the core to show off a bit more. And then the core. This is the CB2 ASIM from the Pivot line, for those who might recall. And I've always liked this core shape, and reusing it here makes sense. So it's a shiny hybrid ASIM, and this just doesn't feel like a very lumbering ball despite having a low RG. It feels more agile, and while not flippy, capable of good backhand. I had a lot of release variation, and testing different lines, was able to get to the pocket with good carry, generally speaking. You can tell it's a stronger ball, but a bit more nimble. And you can blow through the break point because it's shiny after all, but the low RG makes it more predictable. In this case, the Impact was more forgiving on misses in. If you have more or less friction on your lane surface, it might look a little different for you. James is our high rev tester, and he saw a pretty similar reaction. A very predictable motion, one where you feel like you can give it room as it's capable of turning, but you don't need to swing it massively. And as with me, he has to be careful with outside misses as it can go long and really doesn't make it back at times. Inside is just a better misplace for this piece. There is still something about this piece that isn't flashy, but just somehow feels very usable. It also fools you into thinking it's not super strong, but even in a puddle, it held and struck with good back-end motion. For Bryan, the Ebonite Impact looked good. He got that easy length that's typical of polished covers, but again had strong motion down lane. Honestly, it looked like it had strong pop for Bryan. This is the kind of ball that he could actually get out to the friction, and it didn't just die, it actually bounced off of it nicely. Interestingly, Bryan's miss room was out rather than in. Because he's more direct, the ball wouldn't hold with misses in, but getting it to the friction would allow it to still drive. The sport shot we're testing on the 40-foot Don Johnson pattern. It's a higher volume pattern, and for me it offered a pretty good look. The ball has really nice shape that I could easily get used to throwing. And I will say that to throw on sport, especially fresh, you'll need to knock the shine off, as a small miss could do this. For James, he saw the same thing. Ball gets down lane easily, but has good back end that is accentuated on this type of pattern. The Impact really drove hard. Bryan again also had a good look. Even though it's polished, he didn't have much trouble getting to the pocket. Final thoughts. The Ebonite Impact is interesting in that somehow it's not flashy, and while we had several different balls in our test session that tried to take the spotlight, the Impact really left a mark on me ultimately. Pretty simple light bulb-like shape with low RG and asymmetry. The cover may be a little clean, but it felt like it was always in play, and depending on the scenario, the ball does look like it would be usable on medium to medium heavy conditions, but additionally with shine off, it would likely be a great option on sport conditions as well.
I need to tell you what Tamer Bowling Ball reviews.